Hello, I'm Bretton, one of our MCAT tutors here at Inspira Advantage, where we help students get into med school and other professional programs. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we will be exploring key sociological concepts related to social dynamics and cultural diversity. By understanding these concepts, you'll gain insight into how individuals and groups influence each other and shape our identities. Let's dive on in. Beginning with social facilitation. This concept describes the tendency of people to perform at a different level when others are around. So for example, here we have somebody playing beer pong by themselves. As you see, there is no crowd. Poor guy shoots his shot, ball bounces off the rim, and he is a failure. However, when there's more people around and it's down to one cup, everyone is screaming, clutch, 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 you've got this. Due to social facilitation, makes the shot and drains it into the cup. This is an example of social facilitation you might have experienced. Next, we have de-individuation. This is a loss of self-awareness in large groups, leading to a decrease in personal responsibility and an increased likelihood of engaging in actions one wouldn't typically do alone. For instance, people may participate in aggressive behavior during a riot, breaking windows, committing crimes, things you wouldn't normally do. Next up, we have the bystander effect. This is occurring when individuals in a group are less likely to respond to a person in need, often due to the belief that someone else will help. For example, people may be less likely to intervene in emergencies if they see others also not reacting. This can be similar to peer pressure, which is the social influence placed on individuals by others they consider equals. This can lead to both positive and negative outcomes, such as encouraging healthy habits or promoting risky behavior. Next, we have social loafing and polarization. Social loafing is when an individual is not pulling their own weight in a group setting, relying on others to carry the load. You may have experienced this when you're working on a group project and there's that one guy who just does nothing and shows up at the very end, still ends up getting an A because of the hard work you put in. We would call the person who did nothing that whole time the social loafer. They're relying on others to carry them forward. Next, we have polarization. This is the tendency towards making decisions in a group that are often more extreme than an individual's member's initial inclinations. This can lead to risky or irrational group decisions. We also have groupthink, which is the tendency for groups to make decisions based on ideas and solutions that arise within the group without considering outside perspectives. This can result in flawed decisions as alternative viewpoints and potential drawbacks are not being taken into account. So to summarize between polarization and groupthink, because they're very similar, polarization is making extreme decisions, where groupthink is just generally making bad decisions because you're not letting outside opinion in. It's just a circle of people patting themselves on the back, saying, yeah, we've got this, we know everything. In reality, they'd benefit from an outside viewpoint. And now let's talk about culture. Culture refers to the beliefs, ideas, behaviors, actions, and characteristics of a group or society. It shapes our identity and influences how we perceive the world and interact with others. Some 3 key words you need to know for the MCAT about culture. 1, we have assimilation. This is the process by which an immigrant or minority takes up elements of mainstream culture. It's a specific type of socialization that involves absorbing elements of a new culture while maintaining aspects of one's own. Next, we have multiculturalism. This is kind of the opposite. This is the encouragement of multiple cultures within a community to enhance diversity and promote understanding and acceptance among different cultural groups. Thinking back to groupthink, multiculturalism would help prevent groupthink. Then finally, we want to talk about subcultures, which are groups of people within a culture that distinguish themselves from the primary culture. They often have unique beliefs, values, or interests that set them apart. Examples of subcultures include youth subcultures like skateboarders, or music-based subcultures like punk rock enthusiasts. In conclusion, understanding concepts related to social dynamics and cultural diversity can help us make sense of how individuals and groups share our behaviors and identities. These insights allow us to better understand the complexities of human nature and the diverse world we live in, as well as getting those extra points on the Psych-Soc section. So thank you so much for watching this video on group psychology, and I will see you next time.